Pin it this way. That worked better. Raise it up a little. I should have got all this done before I turned it on, shouldn't I? I know. Scold me a little bit. Be all right. We fixing to light this blackstone and we fixing to blacken some catfish. So y'all hang with us. We're gonna get preparation started. We get it hot like we like it. I done wiped it down and somewhat cleaned it off. We got a dish pan full of flathead catfish. We're not frying. They what? We're not frying. Birdie's mad we ain't frying. I'm thinking about cooking me that big old belly blackened. Trying to see what piece I want to fry. Don't get a big piece. Think I'm gonna fry these smaller pieces. I mean fillet. I mean blackened. None of them's gonna eat no whole big bunch. So I think I'm gonna do it like that. I'm seriously thinking about trying this belly. I think I am gonna try part of it. It's hard to see. Cut me a steak out of it. That's what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna the rest of it I'm gonna fry for Brody tomorrow. Brody likes fried catfish. Did you get a big thing? I think in order to do this. So Michelle had done told me she wasn't even gonna eat. We got some Zatarans blackened seasoning we're gonna put on here. So let me get it seasoned. That is all I'm gonna put on it. I'm gonna put it on there pretty liberally. I did want to go get me some lemon juice and put on mine. I know. So. But I want to let that get real hot before I put anything on it. And then I'm gonna cut up. I got a few banana peppers. These are sweet bananas. I'm gonna cut them up. And I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all, Brody wind up tighter than 8 day clock. I'm probably gonna have to get me a switch to keep handy for the night. So. Surely we ain't gonna need that though. We ain't gonna need that, are we, Brody? I said I ain't gonna need my switch, am I? You got two big pieces. I want to fry them. We got plenty to fry, son. Plenty to fry. So, Brody, you gonna come tell them about your camping trip? They ain't got to see the video yet. We ain't got all our footage yet. We had a pretty successful camping trip. All right, I'm gonna put it right about like that. And if you want to keep your coffee warm, you set it right there. But now that handle will get hot. And if you forget it, it'll really scald your hand.
This is my pet Sean.
They can't see you. You wouldn't in front of them. That's gonna get hot fast, thing. Well, it's telling me I ain't even connected to the internet. Where is get this thing connected to the internet? It might work. Technology is a wonderful thing till it don't work no more, ain't it? Here we go. Good to see all of y'all tonight. So I'm getting it pulled up where I can check all of my, and it gives, I can't even read that for pop up stuff and advertisements. I get to look at all that too. Good to see all of you. Thank you for joining in. I don't know what Brody he's run. He likes to run wide open, scream and holler, and get the dog worked up. Even though we strictly told him not to. He forgets really, really quickly. Get these vegetables started. Oh. So I'm gonna add me some oil right up here, just like that. That way I don't wind up overdoing it. And I'm gonna ease my catfish into that. And I'm using olive oil is what's on there. But I try not to get way too much on here because I don't like it to get greasy and you know what I mean. Some of you do. I need to go get me a little bit of lemon juice. I want to have some. I may have some in this refrigerator. I don't remember if I do or don't. I don't know more if I did. Let me go see if I can put my grubby paws on some lemon juice. That flathead belly steak right there I got on in, that's the one I'm looking forward to getting into first. And get me over in the edge of that grease. Hey, hey, settle down. Let me go get my lemon juice. lemon juice. Just a little bit to start with. I'll add some. That citrus will help with keeping it tender too. It splashes and I miss. So, y'all had a busy week this week. We took to the river. We working on a place up there, cleaning it up that we're gonna use. Basically, it's one of these deals, sort of a lease type deal. Um, I've got a few years to spend playing on this river. It's a stretch of river that I've never been on. So we went up there and did basically a recon mission. We took a weed eater and a bush hog and we finished cleaning up right where we were gonna camp and scouted the river out, rode up and down it. We did put some jug lines and some bank poles out, was it. And we caught a few catfish. We didn't go to just fish hard. We didn't try to just see how much good we knocked around and had a good time. We got through one night, the night we put the lines out and come back. We was gonna cook on the cast iron skillet. I had that big skillet and the fish cooker and all that. And Brody decided he wanted pizza, so we went and got pizza at Little Caesars. We didn't even cook camping. So that Brody had a kitten there that he was babysitting, Mr. Chuck.
Yeah.
Those of you that were at Pickinsville, Mr. Chuck Braddock was there, and he come with me and was able to come, and he's got a little old kitten that he found in a trailer that he bought, like a van trailer that he was going to store tools and stuff in, and he was cleaning it out, and it had a little old kitten in there. And when he found it, well, it's didn't even have its eyes open, so he's been bottle feeding it, just trying to keep it alive, and so he brought it with him, and because his wife is out of town working, she is works as a traveling type deal, and she's got a couple of weeks that she's traveling, so he said, I'll come with you. So he had to bring the kitten because he didn't have nobody to leave it with. But we Brody fed the kitten 2 or 3 days there. He's enjoyed 2 days. 2 days he fed the kitten. I'm trying to make sure this don't stick. This is why I didn't put seasoning on both sides of this right off the bat, because it'll just come off right quick. This way, if you put it on the top side only, some of it will go in there. Now, once I flip it over, it'll come off. Then I'm gonna re-season that side. These thinner pieces will be done faster than these couple of thicker pieces. Which one you gonna eat, Brody?
That big piece.
That's yours, all right. Would you tell them about your fishing trip and you,
We caught a big flathead.
where you at, son? You look right there. You got to be where they can see you to talk.
We caught a big flathead.
Talk two of them. One of them was big. One of them was real small. We caught what else did we catch that we turned loose?
We caught a little flathead. We released him.
We caught a baby flathead, wasn't that long. We turned him back.
We caught a baby channel cat. We were going to keep him as bait, but it was the morning. So that was the day we were leaving, and so we released him with the other minnows out there. He'll probably get eaten alive.
Trying to keep up with who all is here.
Dad, who was commenting about sparkles? Dad,
That's Jennifer Ocean Homestead talks about the sparkles coming and picking up your toys.
She's on here.
She'll be on here in a little while. It's usually a little bit before she fumes in. All right, we fixing to flip. All right, let me put some seasoning on that side of the situation. Let me do it like this. I think this will work tremendously better for me. Then that seasoning will stick to that lemon juice, I think better. So last night, let me tell y'all what we done. We was late leaving yesterday. We spent some time playing and swimming in the water up there. Flew home, which we didn't drive fast, but we hurried home. And soon as we got here, we was already late for the concert of the Right Road Quartet. Y'all listen to Right Road Quartet. I'm sure it's backwards on that screen because they've yet to fix everything on there as far as I know. So I had to buy me a T-shirt from Right Road Quartet. I've enjoyed wearing it today.
Dad,
What?
I can still smell that kid.
That means you didn't wash good then. Robert is down there from Oak Tibby, he said. We got people on here from all over everywhere. What's the weather like where y'all at? It's been sort of pleasant this week. Toward the end of the week, the temperatures creeped back up, but it rained all around all the surrounding towns, showers, and we didn't get any rain, so which is fine. That big old steak right there is gonna take a minute. It's gonna take a minute. These I think's done. I'm gonna have to go get something, put them on. But we got some more primitive camping to do. I've got to go back after some beaver company names on the internet, so don't have. But we got to go down there and get after beavers. And Brody said he's going.
Yes, of course.
You going to help trap beavers?
Yeah.
This is supposed to be a little easier job. I'm supposed to be able to drive closer to the dam. So I'm hoping that it works out. I can take him with me. He needs to start learning some of this.
The rice is almost ready.
Mama is cooking rice for the fish.
Hey,
You gonna eat blackened the catfish?
yeah, I'm gonna eat a little bit.
I think them thinner pieces is probably done. Think the peppers is probably good. It don't take. That's one thing I like about this blackstone. You can fry this thing up, cook pretty quickly. Um, and then the cleanup's really not that bad. Once you get the hang of it, it took me a while. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all know how I am. I'm hard headed. I'll do things my way first before I give up and say, might ought to do it another way. But I listened to a bunch of people said you don't have to cook wide open, but this thing likes for you to cook wide open. It likes to cook hot. Depending on what you're cooking, now the food necessarily may not need to be cooked hot, but cleanup and seasoning, you got to get this thing really hotter than it would get. I had to change the regulators on mine and put me a regulator down there that's got a knob like a fish cooker does. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Those of you that fry fish on these, especially these homemade fish cookers, and most all of us got homemade fish cookers. And you got that valve over there, you turn that little knob where you turn your fire up and down. Well, I had to put one of them on here. So instead of me regulating everything on the front with these knobs, I got one over on my tank. I can crank that fire on up. After I done that, I was able to properly season this thing, and I don't have no trouble with it rusting anymore. But I'm gonna lay it up on side now. This big thick chunk, that might have been the wrong move, but I had to try it. Them two tussle all the time. At Lidland instigates a lot of. Look at him. He likes to get something started. They'll end up out there in the yard. They're rolling with. So y'all see the basket fryer is missing.
I don't know about everybody else then, but it's freezing up.
Oh Lord.
Put you on my phone.
Oh Lord, not again. I hope it ain't. Did you close out anything on your phone? I closed out a bunch of my stuff that was running in the background.
I have to switch to that fiber.
I don't know if it's the internet or if it's the YouTube. It's
I've been having a hard time downloading stuff on Instagram and stuff, or like watching stuff today.
Kathy Busby said Kinder's cowboy butter is sure good on all that meat.
I do all these things.
Yeah, that there is gonna take a little bit to get it done. But it's getting there. That is the big flathead part of one of the bellies. You got a bet you split it down the middle, I do, and I have belly on both sides. I know a lot of people cut it completely out but I've got to where I like to skin most of my fish before I go to processing them. I can fillet them, but it just seems for me to work better if I skin it, and then I can cut everything I want off the way I want to cut it off. So I don't know. And I do it different ways when I process them. So Unc said it wasn't doing very bad. But anyway, I was saying the fish basket fryer back there is missing. Y'all notice it? Fry fish in. Ants got in that thing. I seen them crawling up the legs and got to looking. They got over. Well, there's a whole 5 gallons of oil in that thing, which I did not own that one. That one was my brother's. He had brought it over there where we would have two at the cabin over here when we was doing big family fish fries and all that stuff. And then for a long time we wasn't using it. And I just brought it over here to use it a little bit. And I was gonna buy one, but after me running that thing for a while, I believe I'm leaning back towards I'm gonna cook on my cooker over there with my black cast iron Dutch oven with my hog lard in there. I think that's my way of frying. I just like it. When it's done, I can pour all that mess out and put new in there. I don't know if I use cooking oil, I can use cheap oil, I can use peanut oil, I can use lard, whatever I want to use. Ain't but about 2 gallons of it, or gallon and a half usually, and I can change it out in no time. And like when you're frying, I'm bad to get careless when I'm frying and burn the oil, let stuff get in there and it get dark. And well, you can change that out more, Frank. This, everybody said it lasts a lot longer. It does better, and it does. As far as now, if you're cooking for a bunch of people, that basket fryer is the way to go, hands down. I ain't arguing that at all. But for us coming out here, a period of over time, frying a little here, there, and yonder, I think it's more practical just for me to use my cast iron Dutch oven, and I like my cast iron. Thus, I can eliminate that. So the next thing is I'm fixing to put me a post right there and start boarding that end right there up. That's fixing to be a wood wall down that side. I may put a window I've got in it. I don't know yet. The reason I'm going to do that is I need a place to put my pots and pans and some of this stuff and put some shelves up there. I want to put a cabinet right up there where I can put seasons and stuff in, block some of that weather wind. That's the west. A lot of our stuff comes out of the west. And I'm going to put a sink. I've got my cast iron sink that is got ceramic in the inside of it. It's got deep on one side and shallow on the other. Big, beautiful sink. We had it over there and it's been in a piled outside. I got to finish cleaning it up, but I'm going to build me a frame and pull me a water line over here. So that is one of the things I have been wanting to do for a while, and I'm fixing to have to make that happen. That thick piece right there taking a minute. I would like to cut into the center of it and see what it looks like. If it's raw in the middle, I'll have to put it back on there. If it is, I just cut it in half, throw it back on there. So I'm fixing to get it off. Jerry Showing said I've never had catfish on a blackstone, but that looks good. I have cooked I've cooked blue cat on this thing before, and I'll usually season with garlic, salt, lemon pepper. That's my go-tos on everything. And then Tony Satchery's. I like to change up and try different stuff. I've never really cooked a lot with this Zatarain's, but we bought it here not long ago, and I've liked it so far. I believe that thing's leaking. Somehow the oil is running all on my thing down there. But I'm gonna. Somebody said put a pot on it. You can set a coffee pot on this thing like a cowboy coffee pot, and forevermore just sit there and keep your coffee warm while you cook. I mean, and I have not actually made coffee on it. I'm sure it would. Probably would do it better than the fish cooker over there. With my cowboy coffee I made up there on the campground the other day, or when we were camping at our camp, I put it on that fish cooker and I turned the fire way down. But once it got too boiling, man, it boils fast and boils slam over before you know it. So the grounds is all over the side of the pot. So anyway, I had grounds in my coffee, which don't bother me. I'm not one of those. Oh, that stuff on right there stuck me in the bottom of the foot. I want to get me a concrete slab poured under here too. Money I ain't gonna say I ain't had, but I wanted to spend other places. I needed a new boat, didn't I? It's like I needed a hole in my head. And then now we go up yonder, and I'm a little nervous about taking a big boat because there's a lot of shallow water, and I got to find all the stuff because I don't want to tear that 150 off the back of that 2072 wreck yet. Is Mama gonna eat with us or no?
Yeah.
Yeah. The inks is all over that cutting board already. They ain't gotten this plate yet. You gonna eat with us?
Yeah.
I gotta wipe these inks off his cutting board. Them little bitty black inks is crawling everywhere, y'all. I finally whooped the flies with the dragonflies, and I sprayed up here for inks, but when it gets dry, they start hunting moisture and they get everywhere. If you leave anything laying around, they get it.
Oh, they're on this table too.
Yeah, they own all of them. Yep, they are.
Fix your plate quick.
Yeah, I'm wiping them off. I sprayed 38 plus. That's what I use. And 38 plus is basically a permethrin, um, a high concentrate. It's 38% permethrin is why it's called 38 plus. I want to cut it into that big piece before
A plate of fish. Or you gonna eat a little bit after your mom?
let him. He needs to eat now while we eat. I want to cut into this big piece right here to see if before I cut that blackstone off. Y'all see what my knife blades turn out like. I can't keep one shiny. That's why I don't like to do shiny knife blades, because they'll get laid in the sink and here, there, and yonder, and I ain't got time to buff that thing back to a. I need to cut it this way. Yeah, just as I suspected, I ain't happy with that. I knew it was gonna be that way in my heart. I knew it. That's why I checked it.
Can I do that?
Do what?
Am
Taste of that. See if you like it.
that hot?
No, it ain't hot. You didn't like it. Brody didn't. That ain't his cup of tea. He wants it fried. See what I think about it. I like it. Well, you kind of like it. He's mad because I didn't fry all that pig. All right. Well, son, you'll be all right.
Can I have some?
Some what? Tea? Now we're gonna thirst you to death.
Who's cake?
That day. Maybe you'll play rice.
I like him peppered right there. Get me a piece of this piece. You can get whatever you want out of there. I'm good for the moment. We can get y'all over here where we can look you in the face.
You want me to take this in the house?
Not yet. Not yet. I'm gonna probably want. Huh?
Still got that.
Yeah. Can't see all of that at one time. I need to let this back down. We shake y'all around for a minute. Oh, I pinched my cord. Ah. Oh. Hey, I can read the comments over yonder now like this. Y'all see me looking over that way. It's I got the iPad propped up over there. Well, I was going to ask Blessing, but she done RUNNOFT. See, y'all, before the night live is over, we talked last week about the camping trip in the fall and Land Between the Lakes. Well, I'll just tell you right off the bat, we can't get a camping spot up there. We've called several different places, and apparently that weekend something's going on up there with an RV fest or something, and everything's booked up. So I don't know what we're gonna do now about a camping trip in the fall. We'll have to take some suggestions and discuss that heavily here after a while. So y'all be thinking about it. One of the criterias I've had several people suggest different places. We're trying to stay somewhere in West Tennessee. I wanted to be in driving distance of Uncle Sasquatch so his son could bring him over to hang out with us one day. Unc don't really need to stay away from his family and all, his wife and all, so she wouldn't be able to come. And so we wanted to get where Unc could come hang out with us one day. So that is why West Tennessee is the focal area right now of that.
Apple.
You want to?
We waiting on you to ask the blessing.
I'm waiting on you to ask.
Well, you gonna?
Oh, I thought you meant you wanted me to ask.
Oh, well, we waiting on you to sit down. I wasn't clear. All right. Lord, we're so thankful for this food, Lord. We pray that you'd bless it to the nourishment of our bodies to give us strength and good health. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right. Now we can dig it in.
Go get your rice.
You better go over there before the ants find it. Reckon they're going to find your food?
They'll really let you find it.
Where is Real Foot Lake at, Huckleberry? Is that in West Tennessee? Because everything that has been suggested has not been in West Tennessee. And this is from people I've texted and talked to, and I've been texting and talking to several different people, but I'm gonna be honest with you, that catfish is hard to beat like that. When you're trying to eat somewhat healthy and cut out some of the fried foods too.
Dad, who was the person that was commenting about Sparkle?
That's Jennifer Ocean.
Is she on here?
Sparkle's gonna come get your toys if you didn't pick up. I've seen a bunch of little arms.
Like Sparkle's got them. gonna act like that, Dad.
What if Sparkles is real and he really got them? Reckon that's possible?
Drowning.
The Leviathan's real.
A Leviathan's real. I agree the Leviathan's real. How you know it's real?
Bible talks about.
I will. There you go.
I still remember.
We hadn't failed miserably, have we? We've learned him something. I don't know what's going on. Why our internet ain't working right.
Probably the stolen.
I hope it don't start back doing this all the time. We've done good for a while. If the problem persists, well, it's still buffering. It's still freezing up.
It's the other internet.
Well, I knew it's been awful today.
Has it?
Yeah, it's storming a little bit.
Well, I don't know what the cause is. Oh, yeah, it's jumping and all that. We won't have many folks on there long. And I don't blame them. I wouldn't watch somebody that's jumping and buffering either. So I won't hold it against you.
Papa, will I end up like this big pie?
Don't do that. You making a mess. Don't break your teeth out. It's frozen.
It usually will clear up after a little bit of doing this when it was doing it before. Now, I don't know what it's going to do tonight. I'm just a preacher, not a prophet. I can't say what it is and ain't going to do. It's aggravating when it does it. I can tell you that. For me and for y'all. Because it really hampers my experience myself.
Like this piece of ice.
Look, Roscoe's hand face big drop.
Did he? Oh, he's ready for it.
What? What is that?
All right. Where is northwest corner of Tennessee is where Reelfoot Lake is. Huck, we'll have to check into there. We want a campground that is Randy B said, because y'all live in Timbuktu. Yeah, you're right about that. But now that's where I like to be too. And Timbuktu done got too many folks in it. This belly on this flathead a little tougher than that other fish. And John Culpepper said, I can't see you, but I'm on the zero turn listening. John, you something else now. Hey, he's a real trooper now. Robert Walker said, what is for supper? We have got blackened catfish. This is the flathead catfish Brody pulled in the other day. We caught 2 flatheads and 1 big channel cat in that little. We'll get the video edited. We also, y'all, have harvested honey from our bees this week. I almost forgot to talk about that. Y'all, I did that little video of adding that 3rd box on my bees because I don't know anything about bees, okay? I'll be the first to admit this is a learning deal for me. And so I hadn't went into this like, hey, I've watched a pile of videos and now I'm an expert before I ever start. I'll be honest with y'all, I have actually refrained from watching bee videos. Everybody's like, watch this video. What? I hadn't watched any videos on bees. I'm just gonna tell you. Not but a handful, and the ones I watched just wasn't interesting for me. I hadn't got into bees because I have this great love for I want to be a beekeeper, and the allure of it's on. I wanted pollinators for the garden and the fruit trees, so I wanted some bees. Well, after I got the bees, I was like, well, we got the bees. We might as well try to, make them grow and do it and try to get honey at some point. It ain't like, hey, I'm fixing to start selling honey and start this honey business. Now that may happen, but that wasn't my motivation. So I hadn't I Brother Dempsey gave me these bees, so I'm listening to him. I've watched him be very successful with his methods and what he's doing. So that's all I need. If I see somebody that is being successful and they producing a lot of honey and they're in my area with my humidity and my temperatures and all, that's who I want to learn from. Yes, you can learn stuff on the internet about a lot of different things, but somebody else's climate and temperature, especially with plants and stuff, is going to be a little bit different. And I figure the bees is probably similar, maybe not so much like a plant, but I'm learning from this guy. So when we done it, he said, most likely you won't get honey this year. He said, you might, but we're going to shoot for honey next year. So we'll put these two boxes on there. And when they fill up that second frame up there, he said, we'll add a third frame, put the queen separator in where this queen can't get up in there and keep that brood down in the center of the bottom box. So that's what I was focusing on. And that was all what I had planned to do because I had told him, I said, look, before I even get bees, I got a lot of irons in the fire, got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of camping trips, gardening. I'm working on knives. I'm going deer hunting. I've got all this stuff trapping. I got all this stuff I'm doing. I want the bees here, but now I don't want it to something that I've got to tend to every day because my mind, I get sidetracked and it'll get forsaken. He said, you'll be fine with them. So we've checked on him a time or two, and then I finally went and added that box by myself that day, and he seen the video I made, and he said, I want to come look in that hive. I said, come on. So he come the next day, and we popped it open, and he brought me his old bee jacket. He had got a new one, and he gave me a bee jacket. We went out there and popped it open, and sure enough, man, that box was from side to side. That second frame was full. He said, we need to harvest this honey. He said, we harvest this, most likely you'll get honey again this year. We don't know that, but he said possibly. So we decided we're gonna pull honey off this week. I said, well, I can do it Saturday or I can do it Wednesday. I'm gonna be gone Thursday and Friday. He said, well, we'll do it tomorrow, which was Wednesday. So Wednesday morning, we got out here and pulled the boxes off and brought them in here and set the other boxes back on there where the bees was content. And he brought all of his equipment, that honey squeezer and the spinner to spin it out, all that stuff was his stuff. And I'm probably going to buy some of it because I mean, we produced a bunch of honey. And we wound up getting a 5-gallon lard bucket full of honey plus 6-quart jars. So, I mean, we got honey. I didn't ever dream that I would get honey this year. And he said, from the way your bees is doing, most likely you're going to get honey again in a month. So we're going to keep an eye on it. See, I'm betting on the goldenrod taking off. But I kept all my wax. I'm gonna render my wax to make plantain salve and all of that stuff. So I got a busy week coming up, and then me and Brody got to go chase beavers one day, and probably camp out down there most likely, depending. So we got a full week coming up. We had, as far as pound, we weighed it. Total weight, we had 62 pounds of honey. Is what we pulled off out of 2 hives.
Bitch.
Shell, have you pulled up and looked for Reelfoot Lake?
Is Jennifer on here?
Huckleberry said they got a good campground there. So, y'all, speaking of the campground situation,
Reelfoot Lake.
we wanted kind of a somewhere that is conclusive. We can all gather around and sit around the fire and all that. So I noticed a lot of these looking at the aerial footage of these campgrounds. There's a bunch of them. It just looks like a Walmart parking lot where you pull in and just everybody's parked all right side by side. I don't want to be in a situation like that because we all trying to hang out in an area. We need something that's got some yard to it that we can all gather up in and cook and hang out and do whatever we're gonna do. We don't want a situation where we got people we don't know 10 foot from us right there. And that was what I liked about this Pickersville campground up here. Everything is spaced out a little bit. So that's what we're looking for. Now I may not get that, but
I'm pulling it up.
Huckleberry said he pulled over 500 pounds of honey this year. Huck, how many hives are you doing? I am planning on doing a third hive. I want 3 hives of honey is about what I want to run, or 3 hives of bees. That's about all I want to fool with. I'm not gonna keep adding and adding and adding, and I just because I don't have the time. I got knives I need to be working on right now, and I've been all day fiddling with other stuff. I got a little old chainsaw giving me fits. And Petey, I'll have a live on Saturday night. I won't be able to make a Saturday night event. Oh. 25 hives. Brody. Brad, squirrel season opens here usually the 1st of October, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to look, see. Roscoe. Where did Roscoe go? Roscoe go in the house.
Roscoe!
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 Look. Here, Roscoe. I'm through eating. I'm fat enough. You can carry the rest of that stuff in if you worried about the ants or anything. All right. I'm trying to cut back on my eating. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. When it's hot like it's been the last couple of weeks, first half of this week, especially last Sunday morning, was really pleasant here. Felt good all day. The first couple of days was nice weather. It started toward the end of the week warming back up a good bit. So it ain't unbearable today, but it has warmed back up. And that when it gets warm, I don't feel like eating nothing heavy or a lot of fried stuff. I don't know. But we have eaten a bunch of sandwiches. I think the garden is done here.
This is Reelfoot Lake.
That is a beautiful lake. So, to what campgrounds on it? She's got a video pulled up of Reelfoot Lake. That is beautiful. What the video's showing anyway.
Oh, And they have 82 sites available.
82 sites available.
For the September 16th.
Okay,
Got
you got a
10
map? You got a map?
No, we'll have to look at it tonight.
Anybody opposed to Reelfoot Lake?
It's way on the corner on the,
It's other side, land between the lakes.
yeah. It's way over there in the corner.
Well, it can't be that god awful far past it. I mean, that's off the Mississippi River then. Oh, would you be able to make it to would you be able to make it to Reelfoot Lake? Because that is what it all hinges on. Have y'all not gotten to meet Uncle Sasquatch yet? Me and him has made good friends and been internet friends for quite a while, and I want to meet Uncle Sasquatch. It's got to be right in there.
It's right there.
Yeah, that's a big lake. Right above Greenville. Oh no, that's above Dyersburg. I see. I'm all for it. Reelfoot Lake it is. Oh, come on, huh? I'm gonna have to call Jeremy. That's what I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to talk to Jeremy.
You kind of put him on the spot here on live.
Well, we gotta make some plans, because if we don't make some kind of plans, we're not gonna get to do any of it. Huck, I don't know where anything is south. Me and Michelle has looked on the map. Everything we look, there's a river. I don't know what river that was, but when we would find something we like to look so.
And talked to a lady on the phone that does reservations, and she said that most every campground up there at Land Between the Lakes was gonna be booked up.
Good evening, Jerry. Have a good night.
One of the campgrounds I looked at Land Between the Lakes, the campground that's at the bottom of the lakes in Tennessee, they had a bunch of campsites, but she said they were all first come, first serve. So basically, if you drove all the way up there, you might get a spot and you might not.
We don't want to put nobody in no situation where we got people coming and drive no telling where and get there and ain't got nowhere to stay. So that's really not an option.
I think that was
this situation.
That was Piney State. I think that was
Yeah.
Piney State Park or whatever.
Yeah, Piney is the one we were trying to get to.
Yeah, that's the one I called and talked to on the phone, and she said most of everything they had were first come, first served.
John said Reelfoot has a lot of sticks, trees in it, can be hard on outboards. On this trip, I'm not planning on even taking a boat. We're gonna pull the camper to wherever we go. I am strictly gonna be there to cook and hang out. I'm not gonna attempt to pull a boat and fish, and I'm gonna park me a rocking chair in front of the camper and build a fire and drink coffee and burn meat. That's gonna be what I come to do.
There's the campground part. I've seen the playground.
Where is that at?
Paved concrete. Right there's the playground. It ain't a
We'll look and see what we can come up with.
Wait till me answer.
Well, you'll have to. I've got some studying to do tonight. I've got to preach in the morning at our local church. So I've got to get reframed and geared up for that tonight. So anyway, I about know what I'm gonna preach, but I gotta get all my details worked out. Is mosquitoes eating you up?
They eating the back of my leg.
I ain't felt the mosquito. I just seen him a clawing at his hide. We hadn't been in a knife shop hardly none this week. I think I worked in it Monday or Tuesday. Monday and Tuesday was it. But now we got a good bit done on the place that we're gonna be staying.
I'm gonna have a secret.
I heard through the grapevine that this year was gonna be a good year for trapping. Has anybody else heard any news about trapping and fur prices and any of that kind of stuff? I don't know. Some of y'all trap, some of you may not.
You get out of that place.
Fancy chicken's got to go to sleep now. Doing some playing and swimming there on the river up there where we at, and they said they was arrowheads on the gravel bars, so we would walk around on gravel bars, and Brody found something. Show him what you found. Hold it up good close to the camera. Look at this ginormous bone he found. He said that was a dinosaur bone. I said, if you say it's a dinosaur bone, it's a dinosaur bone. Chat GPT tried to tell us it was a cow bone, didn't it?
Mammal.
Yeah, it said it was some kind of a mammal. Brody said that was a dinosaur bone, though. I said, yeah. It looked like a T-Rex bone. Brody said it come off of a Spinosaurus, didn't you?
Yeah, because it's in the water. And it was a little bone.
I rolled with it. Hey, y'all, we had a ball this trip. We rode in there. Brody got a little frustrated there one time with the riding while we wanted to scout and ride all the way down to the end of the river where it runs into another waterway. Watch Lucky now, you about stepped on her. He found two bones. We decided that and there probably come off of a deer though, maybe. But Brody said he didn't know. It might have been a pterodactyl or something.
A raptor.
A raptor.
Some kind of sharky.
We found a rope tied up to a tree. There's a big old bluff on the side of the river, and you could swing off. So I got the rope and swung out there into the water. Like I said, we didn't fish real hard. You all right? You okay? Yeah. Did you break your arm? He broke his arm flying out of that hammock back there. You're gonna have to help Lucky in the door. I can get them treats in the morning that Uncle Sasquatch sent, and I can break them up pieces and start giving them to. And she runs around right there, gets all excited. She's fine for a few minutes until she thinks about it. Then she goes back to hopping around.
Daddy's talking about you.
For those of you that don't know, that we got this little short stepping stool thing. It's like a fold up wood ladder, but it ain't but about that tall. We use it in the pantry to get stuff off the top shelf. Well, she had drug it out and propped it against the island there and was getting stuff out of the pantry. Pup come running around the corner and knocked that ladder over. He wasn't used to it being there. Well, when it knocked it over, it fell and went right across Lucky's back of her neck. Well, it done something to her. She ain't been 100% since then.
Matt?
Robert Walker, good night. Thank you for joining us. Huck, I don't know if we'll ever get a live from a TP. I can't get the internet to work good enough to get out there. The next problem is I've discovered that anything after dark, the footage is awful in. So for me to film in it, it's going to have some electronic light put up in there in the top of it so you can see what's going on in it. But I ain't been able to make you got to have a fire and all that stuff to enjoy being there. Well, it's too hot anytime you can see enough in there for the live. We'll definitely get some videos, but I'm probably going to move it most likely it's gonna wind up there on that property in Amory, I'm thinking. So, or near, it's up above there, somewhere around Aberdeen, up in that way. I've got a Wi-Fi extender, but I've got it on the other end of the house so that I can work out of the knife shop with it. And the problem is my house is metal. It's wrapped in tins on the back. Is that internet is right inside that door. I got French doors there, so it'll work, but it won't. The one I've got now, I could probably unplug it and bring it up here and recalibrate everything, but I don't know. We'll try it and see, but I'm most likely fixing to move that thing. I've marked my poles. I know I've been telling y'all about everything I'm gonna do. I have went and marked and found my TP poles. I've just got to get the free time to go cut them and get them drug up here somewhere and start peeling them. So Mike Culpepper is picking bluegrass at the Grand Oak Gospel Bluegrass Hall. Eric said, question, y'all. I've got eaten up by bugs lately. How do you say that word? Picaridin bug spray work for y'all, or should I stick with DEET? I have never used nothing much more than DEET. I have made some bug spray out of mint and American Beauty Berry. Boiled the leaves and made a decoction, and it worked all right. It did not work as good as DEET out of spray. So I don't really, I hadn't used anything much other than them two. Backwoods Homestead is watching from the fish camp. Finally got Starlink there. That is what we're running here is Starlink, and I have had good luck with it. Saved a couple of episodes. We've got a buffering on the live. As far as me watching, streaming, using the internet, we've not had any problems. After about 2 years, mine did fail on me, and then I ordered a new one. Well, I got it back working, and I kept using it. And I've still got my old system sitting over there. But when it started buffering, I went ahead and hooked a new one up, thinking that was the problem. Well, it persisted; it didn't change nothing. So I've got a backup system. I don't know if I hooked it up if it would connect and work or not. Eric, I have got some pie pans in my fig trees, but they are still eating my figs slam up. I mean, I've been gone a lot. I've worked beavers the last week or so, and then I was here a week, but then we've been going back and forth to a property on the river and working on it. And I've just not been here all day to keep them run out of there. If I'm here in the knife shop all day, I can take a BB gun and kind of keep them run off. I hadn't really killed. I reckon I'm gonna have to kill them. I hate to kill the birds. I'll tell you this: I'm fixing to cut all of my elderberries I've planted down. I have not gotten any of my elderberries I planted here in the yard. The problem is we got so much fruit stuff. We have got a horde of birds that hangs around our property, and it's because it's a smorgasbord of food here. And I hate to kill the birds. I really do. But I hate if I got to go string nets over everything out here, I'd rather cut it down and just get rid of it. So I'm fixing to cut down all the elderberry bushes. I'm not getting any benefit out of them, and they droop really bad, just hang over. And I said I'm fixing to cut them down. Uh, they in the way of my chicken pens. One of them is I got one down yonder. I'm probably gonna leave alone, but it just bothers me that the birds is eating it up. I don't get anything out of it, so I said I'll just get rid of them and be done with it. So I think here in the future I'm gonna cut a bunch of that stuff with a chainsaw down there and throw it in the burn pile and be done with it. I come out better ahead with like elderberries to go find them somewhere and forage them and bring them back than I do to try to have them here in the yard. It's crazy the amount of birds we've got, and it's mostly the red cardinals is what's giving us fits. The apple trees down there, they stuff eating them apples left and right, which it made enough that we've got probably all the apples we want to do anything with. Eric, that thermocell works good, but if the wind's blowing that smoke if you got a lot of wind, it don't work well because it'll blow the what gets rid of the mosquitoes off from you. My fig trees too, y'all, have not all produced at the same time. I've got one on the end of the house around here, and I ain't got a fig off, but I ain't seen them turn yet. So Backwoods Homestead said the lemon and eucalyptus spray works good. So you may want to try that for bugs and mosquitoes and whatnot. I'll tell you this, you better keep that plantain salve handy too. I went to check on my friend of mine down here. His wife's not been doing real well, and I went down there to pray for her today. And on the way home, I got the itching. Well, I looked and I had a tick right there on my stomach. So and it was a little old bitty one. And I immediately, when I got it off, I put the plantain salve on it, gobbed it on there. Uh, I can't sit here and tell you that the set plantain salve is going to be a cure all, but you got a lot better chance putting it on there to not develop some kind of Lyme disease or something like that because there's a lot of drawing power in that plantain and it'll pull venom and poison and all that back out of you. I don't know how long a tick's got to be on you for it to contract you something. I don't know if you can contract it just the instant it bites or what, but I'm not a doctor, so I don't speak on stuff that I just heard about. A lot of information people will swear is the gospel truth, something they heard a buddy of a buddy say, and I just seen it on the internet somewhere. Well, everything on the internet ain't fact. So being I'm on the internet, if I ain't sure about it, I just try to leave it alone. But I do know them things, the ticks are a dangerous thing. I done seen several people get that disease that whatever starts with a big long word with an A. I don't remember what it is, but where you can't eat beef and deer meat and all that no more. I don't want that. Alpha gal or whatever it is. Yeah, I use plantain on about everything. I use no poison, which poison ivy and poison oak don't really bother me. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, as you get older, it'll one day it'll start affecting you." It very well could, but as of right now, it don't. If I really get a lot of it between my fingers, it'll start itching a little bit. But as far as it really making a mess, I mean, it hadn't really bothered me. Um, but I try to be careful and I don't take no chances. It's not necessary. So I put a picture on Facebook the other day. We were at the campground. I took a picture of Brody standing in front of the tent and cooker in the river in the background and all that. and there's a 2-gallon pump up sprayer sitting there. And I had more questions about what was in the sprayer than anything else going on. So I put 38 plus in that sprayer. I had sprayed all around my house. I use it to spray termites, spray wood, to spray everything with. It's permethrin. And it's a repellent to stuff. So also those of you that are talking about needing mosquito repellent and all this, whatever you're gonna wear when you go to the outdoors, if you'll hang it on the clothesline and spray it with that permethrin and let it sit there and wear it the next day, it will repel insects. But I took that up there and I sprayed all around where we cleaning up around on the riverbank where we're gonna be camping and staying a good bit to try to help with the red bugs. And I on that video, on that picture, I called them chiggers because that's what everybody knows them as in other areas. And one of my friends come in and said, I thought we all called them red bugs. I said, we do, but I didn't want to spend the rest of the night telling everybody what red bugs was. But that is what we call them, red bugs. You get red bugs, and that's, the chiggers, and they go to itching, and they'll get all in your socks, which I don't wear shoes a whole lot. But they'll get in your waistband and everything else and eat you up. Mostly up down my legs and ankles. But I sprayed Brody with the, I think I got a can of Repel actually. I sprayed around his feet and all around on him to keep the ticks and red bugs off of him. So we got home and he wouldn't eat up with stuff. Michelle come home the other day when me and her was up there and we was cleaning up, which that was a maiden trip in there. It was bad growed up that day and that ate her up. We have got it, a lot of that place cleaned up. And I met some neighbors that own property right there on that place. And I gave him $100 bill. He said he'd have it slicked up, ready for the camper when I come back. So we've got to go hook a power meter box up. Eric, get you look up permethrin, find you some permethrin if you're gonna be out like all day adventures doing stuff, and you can spray your clothes and hang them up and let them air out, and that permethrin will stay in them, and it'll repel, especially ticks and stuff like that. I worry about the ticks more than I do the mosquitoes, and this year they have been bad. Now I don't know how much I believe about all this here about them dropping ticks out of helicopters in boxes. They may have. I don't know. I ain't gonna get into all of that. I'm. Some of that stuff is a little far fetched, and I ain't gonna dare say it ain't possible. Because these people do some crazy stuff. They got ideas, and it very well may be a fact. But I don't know that I buy into all of that or not. But I know we naturally have years that just some things are worse than others, whether it's flies or the ticks or it's mosquitoes or it's whatever. It's like the other year the cicadas was ever worse, screaming and hollering, running rampant. I mean, there's been cycles of things over hatching depending on what predators and what weather cycles, all of that. So Walter Coleman, how are you, my friend? Good to see you tonight. But the deep ought to do what you need to do anyway, Eric. You'll be good with that. Eric Winchester said, is night fishing with a green light effective in the swamp? I have never tried it. The mosquitoes have been so bad, I have deterred me out of that swamp much. But I've had so much going on that I have not really went down there at night trying to fish. Night fishing's one of them things that you really need somebody to go with you, and usually after dark, I ain't got nobody that's willing to go do stuff like that. I pretty well do by myself, what I'm gonna do, and most everybody that I know and hang around, they at home ready to go to bed when it gets time to do that kind of stuff. Um, I would say that it would probably work. I don't see why it wouldn't, but you would definitely have to do it in certain holds. It wouldn't just generally work everywhere, you know. JH Outdoor Livers have made a trip out to our deer camp today, working on editing the video now. Bear season will be here before we know it. I wish we had a bear season here, but we don't have enough bears yet. I mentioned to go on a black bear hunt. Might make it happen this year. Don't know. What do you think, Brody?
I want to
Go on a bear hunt?
uh-huh.
Me too.
About bear.
You want to get eaten by a bear?
Yeah.
Well, you probably could make that happen. Why don't you go out there to the Yellowstone and pet some of them buffalo?
What's that?
Buffalo. You don't know what a buffalo is? Well, go out there and pet some of them buffaloes. That'll probably work just as good as getting eaten by a bear. I'll video it if you'll go pet one of them buffaloes. We'll get some real good footage out of that.
Well, I wouldn't be on the live anymore.
Yeah, you'll probably live. It'd be like that last fella. They just tossed him up there about 15 foot was all.
What fella?
There's some fella, they hooked him in the rear end. That buffalo throwed him up in there about 10 or 15 foot, done him a somersault. I think he pulled through though. That's what Disney is good for. Make everybody think animals is just cute and cuddly.
They're mean.
Animals ain't all cute and cuddly. You go up there and next time you find a raccoon in your garbage can, you go up there and pet him. Well, I'm telling y'all right now, I'm done run out of coffee. My coffee cup is done got cold. Why don't you come over here, Brody, and tell them about your camping trip or some big wild tale while I go get coffee? Huh? Come over here in this other chair. I know you got a good story for story time, man. Hey, don't do nasty stuff, man. You ain't got a good story to tell?
I do.
What?
So, once upon a time,
Tell them about something that happened on your camping trip that you really know. What was some of your best parts of it?
feeding the cat.
You tell them about it, and I'm gonna go get coffee.
I'm gonna tell him a joke.
Tell them whatever you want.
So, once upon a time, there was this guy. He went out in the woods with his son, and they found this buffalo, and then they decided to pet it. Like the dad petted it, and then it hit him up in the air about higher than that roof, and then landed, and then everyone got in the swibbly lobbly. Everyone was flopping around. There was a bunch of people flopping around everywhere like a wiggle worm and a fish on the bank.
Ain't no telling what he's telling, is it?
And the buffalo kept hitting them up in the air higher than the roof, and they kept beating it up until it got tired, and it hit one last one up in the air higher than the roof. And he hit the ground, and they were everyone survived, and because the buffaloes had great.
Well, what all did you have to eat on your camping trip?
pizza and fish.
Pizza and we didn't eat fish, did we?
Pizza and
We ate sausage one morning.
yeah, pizza.
Deer sausage.
I think we cooked.
About all we ate.
Earthworms.
We didn't cook earthworm. That boy tell anything. I had to watch him now.
I think I ate one earthworm.
No, surely
I
not.
Yeah.
I think you enjoyed that swimming more than anything, didn't you?
Yeah.
We put that life jacket on, and we got to work on our swimming skills. Me and him both. I don't get to swim enough. I can swim just good enough to save my life. As far as me being a proficient swimmer, I do better with my arms. If I didn't have any arms, I couldn't stay afloat. I watched Casey on Outdoors, and Casey jumped the swimming pool, and he's born with no arms, and he could tread water with just his feet, and I can't. My feet, I don't know why. I guess my toes is too long. I don't know. I can't keep myself up with that.
I want to tell a joke. So
Tell a joke. I thought you done told one.
I want to tell.
You know a good one? What you know?
It's about nothing. It. So once upon a time, there was this guy that jumped out of an airplane. Nothing. It. And fell down here. Fell from this roof, but survived and just walked off and flew up to the plane.
We forgot the cheese grates at Fish. Need to put a mic on him. I'm scared too, if you want the honest to God's truth. He don't talk loud enough for me to hear him, but sometimes that's a good thing.
So, want me to tell another one?
I don't know if I do or not. You ain't told one that made any sense yet.
So, once upon a time, there was this guy that went to McDonald's. He ordered a burger that had pickles, hot dogs, and maybe and hot sauce and tomatoes and potatoes.
You got to talk where they can hear.
The pickles, apples, and fries, and peppers, hot peppers. And when he got it done, he only got the 2 buns.
Didn't even have no meat.
Nothing.
Forgot to put his meat on there. Lord heck.
He only ate the bun, like it was a burger. But they did give him his fries and some pickles and all that. But they thought it was all in a pack.
Sounds like old Marcel Ledbetter one time said he used to do a little hoboing back in the day, back when they was poor coming up. So he'd travel around and said he'd, try to do a little trading and stuff. And anyway, he said he come across this place there and said he hated the big, but said he finally got where he had asked for a little here, there, and yonder. Said they had this sandwich shop and said he wanted him a sandwich, some kind of bad. They had a little sandwich shop down there on the street corner. Said he stopped by this house there, and there's a lady out there on the door. I don't know. And said anyway, she was sweeping the porch off. He walked up there where she was at and said, "Lady," said, "would you give me $1 for a ham sandwich?" And she said, "Well, I don't know. I'd have to see the sandwich." He was wanting her to give him $1 so he could buy a sandwich. She thought he was wanting to trade. Said she'd had to see the sandwich. Wasn't funny, was it?
Anyway, but at least the man got his all of the stuff in a little thing. They thought it was all of the stuff was supposed to be in a little bag, and the burger just was nothing.
Supposed to be in a bag.
It was supposed to be a burger, not everything in a bag. But at least he got it now. But he built it. He built that burger. At least he got it.
Y'all, John Culpepper said he had a prayer request. Sit down up there.
That's all I put my things on.
I said sit down up there. John said there's a young man and a very good friend of the family that was involved in a lawnmower rollover today that pinned him underwater for an extended period of time. He is currently on life support, but everything is uncertain at this point of what kind of brain activity he's got. He's 33 years old. Hush, Brody. So, y'all, let's say a prayer for this young man. 33 years old, two small children. Lord help. Y'all, you never know what's going to happen in life. It can be any one of us. I went down there today, and my buddy that y'all see on some of the videos that he makes knives, and he's been in several videos with me fishing and doing different things. I've trapped stuff on his property down there, Mr. David Barrier. His wife had open heart surgery. They did a bypass and then they did a valve replacement. Well, she struggled to recuperate from that. There's been some infection got in there, and they had to go in and redo some stuff because of the infection, and it's still not just healing like it ought to. And uh she's not really had an appetite, so she ain't eating really good. So we need to pray for them too. Uh, but yeah, let's definitely pray for this young man that's on this lawnmower accident. We don't never know what tomorrow holds, and it could be any one of us at any time. That is why I really try to get up every morning and I sit down on the porch and I take my time. I do not like to get up in the mornings running wide open in a hurry, trying to leave before daylight to see what all I can get done in a day. I've learned to just kind of take it as it comes, and I don't get as much done as some people. Sometimes I get frustrated with myself because I didn't get everything done I needed to get done. But I sit down and drink my coffee and enjoy my morning and look at the world unfold before me and before I start my day, and appreciate the sun shining or the rain falling or the cool air or whatever the simple things of life is there to enjoy. Sure, right now it's hot and it's miserable, but I've been so blessed, and most of y'all have too. And it's easy to take that for granted because it don't take but a split moment for all of it to, as we know it, to be over with. Life can drastically change at the drop of a hat, and it's important that we slow down and don't rush things. Because it could change for the worse in a New York minute. But having some kids and being that, it's just tough on them kids because it'll be a life changing event in the best case scenario. And most of us have all been affected by accidents and something happening to a family member in some way or another. Well, hey there, Lulu. This is a pastor's dog up here. She's going yonder way though. She ain't wanting to socialize. They got a basset hound, and she makes her rounds. She is and she swings a wide path. She travels not house to house, but she'll travel miles. I've seen her 2 miles away over there, which my pastor recently built a house up here. They did live about 2 miles away, and that's why her swath is so wide. I guess she still got friends, and she goes over there and visits them at the old home place. And then she'll come over here one day. She swings way on down the neighborhood. Walter, he said with a campground in North Georgia work. We're looking for one near Uncle Sasquatch over in West Central Tennessee is what we need to be in an area where we could meet Uncle Sasquatch. But if that don't pan out, I'm for going anywhere. I may plan a trip later on in the fall just to go see Uncle Sasquatch. I'm gonna meet him some way or another. Me and Roscoe may have to just get in a Jeep and ride up there one day. Kevin Ferguson said, Justin, I'm in the hospital. Please pray for me too. Will do, brother. Man, I hate to hear that you're back in the hospital. Kevin Ferguson is a friend of mine from down in Jackson, Mississippi. I hadn't known him a long time, but good man. Made all those hair jigs. We handed out a bunch of them at Pickinsville. You done got in trouble in there and got run back out of the house. Sit down before you knock my coffee over now. He's torqued up tonight. I feel like some leather applications in his future. Brody, do you know what leather application is?
Yeah.
What's that? When's the last time you've had a whooping? Can you remember? Been a while, ain't it?
It's done.
We'll have to remedy that for him. He don't get that leather applied like I did when I was a young'un. They kept me walking the straight and narrow path. At least when they was looking. He don't mind showing out right in front of me. You know.
Like he isn't there.
I figure it's some punishment I had due me that he's dishing out. But what I'm trying to prevent is the punishment he'll get in reward in his future. We need to straighten him out so that his young ones don't do him so dirty.
I forgot about that. Dad.
Unc, I believe Roscoe done went in the house and crawled up the recliner or something. I hadn't seen him in the last little bit. It's quite possible he's in there belly up. Thank you, Miss Alicia. Brody, don't do that. Shut that door. He likes to holler tree just to get them worked up. He's mean as Eugene Ledbetter ever thought about being. They said Uncle Versus spent half of his time whooping Eugene. Brody, sit down somewhere. Oh, Eugene was the one that liked to play dog. They said, oh, Eugene is so mean. Said every now and then, said he'd just get out there under the porch and said when somebody drive up, said he'd come out from under that porch and barking. Boy said they had to just tear him up. Said one day, said he come out from under that porch, said he bit Aunt Daisy on the leg. Said Uncle Versi whooped him, got his belt and just blistered his tail. Said Aunt Daisy, she said she was sitting there in a chair at the table. They was sitting there eating biscuits. Said Aunt Daisy said, oh, said I know he wants to be just a sweet little boy. Said Eugene, said, you want something sweet? Said he grabbed that pitcher of molasses and just dumped it right over the top of Aunt Daisy's head. Said them syrups is running down over her eyes. Said Eugene, said Uncle Versa whooped him again. You see, he spent half his life whooping Eugene. You know, Eugene is the one that put them dogs and them hounds up in that gasoline washing machine. Said they come down the road one day, they was carrying corn to the grist mill to get it ground up. Said they'd have it ground up, some of it for bread for human consumption, and then they'd have some ground a little thicker for dog bread. And they'd make dog bread out of it, but they was had a load of corn in the back of the wagon, and they was headed down there, and they got up there right next to them Ledbetter's houses, and said the awfulest howling and barking you ever heard in your life was coming out from around back of that Ledbetter house. Said the howling, oh, 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 oh. Said, stop. Said, I better go see what's going on back there at the back of that house. Said, there ain't no telling what Eugene's doing. Walked around the end of that house and said, Eugene had two of the biggest, finest hounds you ever seen in your life up in the middle of one of them gasoline engine washing machines. Said that thing going. Brr, 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 brr. Said, oh, every time one would stick his head up out them suds, said, old Eugene had him a mop. Said he'd shove his head back down in there. Them dogs a holler, bro. Said, Eugene, what are you doing? He said, I'm going to wash these dogs if it takes the rest of the evening. Eric said he got to go walk the dog before it rains again. See you later, Eric. Good to have you with us tonight. Oh, Pup Pup. I don't know. He's walking around terrorizing something. Old Pup Pup knows he can tear up, chew up some stuff. He run up in that house. We'll come in. If we leave him through the day here locked in the house, he's gonna shred something. Michelle had this big pretty quilt her mama gave her. Nice quilt. I don't know who had made it. On the bed. We come in and that dog had chewed a hole in the middle of that quilt about that big around. I seen fire in Michelle's eyes when I walked in there and act like I didn't see it. I seen that wet spot in the bed. I seen that hole chewed there. I just eased on around there and act like I didn't see nothing. I went on to changing clothes and yeah.
Yeah. After that, I looked and do it. His fur almost turned
Oh,
red.
Miss Alicia Stringer is getting baptized tomorrow. Good deal.
When I saw it, I got popcorn early.
Yeah, Gordon May, he's the one said they was eating supper. Said all of them was gathered around, I don't know who was there, but said every one of them was there. Ardell, Burnell, Raynell, WL, Lanell, Odell, Udell, Marcel, Claude, Eugene, and Clovis. And then over here was Aunt Pet and then Uncle Versi. Said they was gathered around eating supper. Said all of a sudden, said Eugene jumped up and said, there's a lion in the yard. There's a lion in the yard. He's going to eat us up. Said they all jumped up, looked out the window and said, well, there wasn't no lion in the yard, but said there was a big collie dog. Said somebody, it was a hot summer time of the year, and somebody took a pair of sheep shears and they had sheared all the hair off that dog and left a ring of hair around his neck and a little old patch of hair on the end of his tail down there. Said Eugene hollering lion in the yard, said Uncle Versi jumped up and slapped him flat of his back. I mean, just slapped him out cold. Said Eugene come to in a second and opened his eyes. Uncle Versi was standing straddled of him. Said Eugene, said I done whooped you. Said I done prayed over you. Said everything I know to do for lion. Said I don't know how to help you overcome it, but he said, I tell you what you do. He said, you go out yonder and you get in that outhouse and you pray and you ask the Lord to forgive you for the sin of lying. And he said, don't you come back till you feel like you've talked to the Lord and the Lord has forgiven you. Said about 15 minutes later, said, here come Eugene back. Said, Uncle Versi said, you feel better? He said, yes, sir. He said, you talk to the Lord? He said, yes, sir. He said, do you feel like he's forgive you of the sin of lying? And he said, yes, sir. Said, matter of fact, while I was out there, said the Lord talked back to me. He said, Eugene. He said, Eugene, don't lie about God. And Eugene said, I ain't lying. Said, I could hear him just as clear as I could hear your voice right now. Said, well, one of the brothers spoke up and said, well, Eugene, do you mind sharing with us what the Lord told you? He said, no, I don't mind telling you. Said, the Lord told me the first time he saw that dog, he thought it was a lion too.
Then what happened?
I don't know, but old Eugene was also the one that he got to watching that fishing. He got to watching old Bill Dance and Roland Martin them fishing. He said they'd got to watching them down there talking about fishing around structure. Said old Eugene, you know, he'd always stretch a tail out. Said they got this down there in them logs and said, well, Eugene didn't have nothing, no structure down there fishing. Said they had an old Edsel down there up on the property that was sitting on blocks and said it wasn't no good. Said he got enough of rubber put on around them tires and got bolted on there to where he could push it. Said he rolled it off in the baptismal hole. Said he got down there fishing. Said he'd throw that reel out there and said he'd got to catch it. And said he come back one day and they said, well, Eugene, do you catch any fish? He said, you ain't gonna believe this if I tell you. He said, well, probably not, but said, I know you're going to tell us anyway. And he said, well, he said, I was down there fishing it. He said, I hung one. He said, it doubled that pole over. He said, I was a reeling him, said that drag was a pulling off, said it was going, wee. He said, and I wheeled on him and whirled him down. He said, that thing come up there and just stood up on his tail out there in that water. Dove back down in that water. And he said, I was a fighting him. He said, about 15 minutes. Said, I finally whirled him down. And he said, I got him up there nearby up to the bank. He said, I was fixing to reach down there and just grab him in the mouth. And he said, that old bass said he looked like he was long as my leg. He said he took one last dive and said he run all the way back down in there and went in the window of that old Edsel and laid down on the back seat. And he said, you ain't gonna believe it. Said he rolled the window up on my line. Said they got so aggravated with Eugene Line. Said they went and talked to the preacher. Said preacher said, what we gonna do about Eugene Line? Said one of them said, one of the deacons said, well, what we need to do, said we need to get together and said we need to go down there and tell the most outlandishest, craziest tale you ever heard. One that they ain't no way nobody could believe it, and tell it to Eugene for the truth, just so he'd see how ridiculous it is, and we'll let the preacher tell it. That way he'll know that you know, how silly it looks. So they all agreed that was a good idea. They had let Eugene see what that line really looked like. And said so they went down there and knocked on the door. And Eugene come to the door and said, oh, y'all come in. Glad to see you. Want a cup of coffee? They all got in there and he made a pot of coffee and they sitting around drinking and said, well, Eugene said, we got a tale. Said, we want to tell you. Said, he said, I was up in the pulpit the last Lord's Day. Said, I was preaching. Said, I was preaching the word of the Lord and said, all of a sudden, said, the back doors busted wide open and said, through them back doors come one of the biggest, meanest grizzly bears you ever seen. Said, just come right through the back door and said, believe it or not, said, right on his heels was a little old bitty fast dog. Said, man, they tied up, said hair was flying, the barking and howling you ever heard, growling. That bear'd swat that dog, said that dog had piled right back up on him, said they got all the way down to the front of the church fighting. Said the crowd had done backed up against the walls and they was watching and said they wallered down the first 3 or 4 rows of pews. And said when it was all over with and the dust settled and the fur went flying, said not only had that little old fast dog whooped that grizzly bear, but said he completely consumed him, said he'd ever bite of that grizzly bear. Said, you believe that? And Eugene said, heck yeah, I believe it. Said, that was my dog. Well, we've wore some Jerry Clower out tonight. Y'all been asking for some Jerry Clower tales. I think we put our feel in on them tonight. You ever heard any of them tales? Hmm? Kip Barrier, thank you. Mr. Kip Barrier is the one singing this song on this shirt that I'm wearing tonight.
Dad,
Right Road Quartet. If y'all don't listen to Right Road Quartet, you at least owe it to yourself to go listen to that song One Drop of Blood. That is sung by my friend here, Mr. Kip Barrier. But now I'm gonna tell you, last night they did a good job. I'd never heard that Mississippi song, but they got one about being baptized in the Mississippi River. You need to hear it too. That's a good one. You can pull them up. I've got them on iTunes. I paid $12 for the iTunes, where I can listen to whatever I want to. But I promise you, them two songs by the Right Road Quartet is good. But now everything they sing's good. They sang some old songs last night, so we had a good concert. Kip, I don't know if I really got a chance to tell you, but y'all did an excellent job. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So y'all go check out Right Road Quartet. Sean Deaver, you barely did make it tonight, didn't you? We didn't think you was gonna get here, but you showed up. And I noticed Jeffrey Gray was on here early tonight when we started, and he disappeared straightway. He may be at his camp over there. Deaver said he got lost in his garden. That's cause you ain't put the bush hog in it already like I have mine. I done cut that mess, most of it down. What, bro? What's that? Yeah, you'll be what in the world? Where'd you find all that grass? Well, I'm glad you pulled that grass up for me. You finally done something productive back there. That's the first good thing he's done in the background since we've started this show.
I'm gonna make a bigger pile this time. And I'm just gonna hit it every time.
He's making him a pile of grass back there and swinging into it with this hammock. John Culpepper, he had his new hammock strung up there on the river bank. He got some good out of it. Yeah, pull all that grass. There's a bunch more along the backside of that of this fire pit you can get. Any of that tall grass, you welcome to it. Harmon Outdoors, this boy right here keep you young. I can promise you, cause he's full of fire. And we've learned a valuable lesson. You don't buy any soft drinks with sugar in them. I messed up and I got to liking them Baja Mountain Dews by mistake. We was at because of him. We was at the Taco Bell one night. Now I'm not personally a big fan of Taco Bell. If I'm gonna eat fast food, I generally pull through the Sonic or the Bumpers one because I can sit there in my truck and just sit there and eat. I ain't gotta go in and I ain't gotta go through a drive-through and then eat driving. I can just sit there in my truck, get my food, and eat it in the truck. But anyway, they talked us into going. We went into the Taco Bell one night. He throwed a fit for some tacos. I think he had a toy and a kid's meal he really wanted, but we was in there.
Yeah, I can hold
And I went to that
tacos.
thing. You got that kiosk. You got to mash all them buttons. Well, it's a mite confusing in some way or another. In me trying to get a Diet Mountain Dew, I got that Baja Mountain Dew. Well, it come out all blue looking, and I was like, well, this is going to be a disaster. Michelle said, well, just pour it out and get you another. And I said, no, I'm gonna drink it. I'm just hard headed enough. I said, I'm gonna drink it. So I took about 2 sips of it. My eyes bugged out. And I said, doggone, it's pretty good. I like this. This was all right, you know. So I wound up buying a 12-pack of them. Well, we was up there on the river in the boat, me and him and Chuck Braddock. This was at Pickinsville. And I had them things in that boat, and I opened me one up, popped the top on it, and I took about 2 swallers out of it, and I set it up there in that cup holder that ain't air conditioned, Jason McKenzie. And I drove around, you know, we was tying limb hooks out, and I reached up there to get me another drink of my Mountain Dew, and it was empty. That fella right back there had emptied it. He took a liking to that Baja Mountain Dew too. Well, I didn't think nothing about it. I reached back there in the cooler. I was gonna have my Mountain Dew, and I hooked me another one up. Took about 2 or 3 swallers and set it down. Well, lo and behold, I reached up there in a little bit to take me another drink, and it was empty. I said, well, I know better than open a third. And I mean, I'm first time on me, second time you, there ain't gonna be a third, you know. So I got me a bottle of water, put it up there. Well, he didn't want to drink yet, so I had plenty to drink then. About 15 minutes later, I thought he was going to absolutely destroy that boat. He was a flopping around, and he was like a gremlin when you pull him up on the bank. You know, just he was all over. I made him sit down right there beside me, and he couldn't sit still to save his life. He was squirming and a wiggling. I mean, just making unnecessary, about like he's doing that here tonight. But that was the last of the Baja Mountain Dews I have ever bought in my life. I said I'll never buy another one because if he gets his hands on them, we'll have to put him in rehab over them things.
You'll have to put me.
Backwood Homestead said Taco Bell is the king of fast food. Said because it'll go through you real fast. They say it won't stay with you long though.
I like it. Almost every day we go to town and we go there.
Harmon, that ice cream do him in too. I know what you mean on that.
Jason McKenzie on here.
I hadn't seen Jason McKenzie, but I tell you who did comment. Jennifer Ocean Homestead. You you gonna ask her about Sparkles?
How
Sparkles gonna get that machine gun right out yonder and make off with it tonight.
And nobody shooting everybody with it and
That's an airsoft machine gun. He has no idea its capabilities. He thinks it's just a plastic toy, but I'm good mind to find me a 9-volt battery and show him what it'll do, but I'm afraid it'll come back to bite me if I do. You know what I mean? I'm afraid I'd be best up if I unlocked that secret.
If I ever went and got one of them, you would have to put me in a.
Robert said he ain't eaten Taco Bell since the late 80s when they found human feces in the meat. Oh, Lord, he said he's staying north of the border. Well, I'm going to tell you this. If you worried about stuff like that, you don't want to eat nowhere but at the house. Because I can promise you, anywhere you eat, if you go to checking the food, you're going to find something. Yep.
They do find a glass of sugar Mountain Dew when I die.
Deaver, we don't know about the camping trip. We're trying to figure out where to go. We ain't really found nothing. We've discussed Reelfoot Lake, but it's a little out of range of Unk. But we may have to, we may not really have any options. So we're going to have to see. If we don't find something in the area we're looking for tonight or tomorrow or sometime pretty quick, we're probably going to have to roll with Reelfoot Lake but I don't know how many people we got willing to even show up.
Watch this.
So those of you that tuned in late, we can't get a spot at Piney on Land Between the Lakes. They booked out. So no way that everybody can be there. So we canceling Piney at Land Between the Lakes.
Watch this.
For certainty.
Watch.
Yeah. I see. We definitely gonna pull the camping trip off some way or another, but we don't know where yet. Could be real foot. We don't know yet. We just
Well, there might be some more fish that we've never caught before.
if anybody's got any other suggestions of a camping place in central western Tennessee, in that area, we need. I don't know. I don't know any details of any of the places up there. We just want somewhere that we got room around the camping areas to build a fire and everybody be able to gather around and sit around in chairs and swap stories and tell their favorite fishing tales and their brushes with the game wardens and all that good stuff. I have heard y'all. I wish y'all could hear some of the tales I've heard in just the last few weeks. People I've encountered to get to talking, and everybody's got a story that you wouldn't tell on the internet, and they get to talking about an encounter they had, or where they when they was younger. Of course, they pulled something that they ought not have pulled, and like they got caught, and some of their escapes. And it's been quite entertaining to hear. I have really, really enjoyed hearing some of them. But y'all, it is 9 o'clock. We are fixing to shut everything down tonight. I've got to preach in the morning, so I've got to gear up for that. I've still got film just in time. I was going to do it out today, but I was really kind of reading over some of my stuff that I'm going to preach tomorrow because that is my main focus. But I've got to do all of it. But we definitely want to keep all these y'all have asked for in prayer. Miss Alicia Springer said that he's got a family that's got a family member killed. Let's pray for them. I know there's a lot of people that have lost loved ones in recent, Lord, in the last several months. Even back a year or so, it's tough on people. Tough to deal with that. Pray for them families. Make sure you pray for these that we've mentioned. This young man that's trapped under a lawnmower, got kids. Pray for them. Pray for my buddy down here and his wife. Pray for Kevin Ferguson. I know there's probably hundreds and hundreds of stories that we could get prayer requests the rest of the night. A lot of people in need. It's just everybody knows somebody that's hurting. Everybody's got somebody that's affected with cancer, and it just seems to not stop everywhere you turn. But God is a healer, and He is our source of hope. He's the only hope we've got, and I am thankful that I stop every day and say, you know what, I've got today. I may not have tomorrow, but I have today. And I'm going to thank the Lord for what I've got today. I'll try to do the best I can with it. Love on as many people as I can and reach as many people and not get too caught up in things. I used to really try to kill myself to get everything done and, oh, I got to work. But the older I get, the more I realize, you know what, if I don't get it today, tomorrow will come. And if it don't, it won't matter no way,
Pile.
But anyway, I love all of y'all. Deaver said, can we end in prayer tonight? And we most certainly can. What, Brody?
Watch this.
I'm fixing to pray. Get it over with and then stop. All right, I want you to come over here and sit down while we pray. Come sit in that chair and be quiet, be respectful. We're going to pray over everybody. I'm probably not going to call names in prayer because if you happen to miss somebody, you don't want to, the Lord knows who all we've requested prayer for. So let's go to the Lord in prayer and close night. First off, thank all of you for being here. We got a lot of good, like-minded people in this family that we call it. I call this my family. But I'm thankful for all of you that are here. Dear Lord, we thank you tonight for your spirit. We thank you, Lord, for your word. We thank you for today. God, we thank you for the help that we have, Lord. We thank you, Lord, for this group of people, Lord, that you've brought together, this family of Spirit of the Outdoors. God, we thank you for the opportunity that we've got, Lord, to let your light shine through us, be a light in a dark world. Lord, you see all the trouble and the heartache, the pain, the sickness, the disease, the death. God, you see the hurt that's in all these families that these people are dealing with. You see the shock, Lord, that goes through people as they hear news of things, God, that we'd rather not hear. But God, you are our hope for tomorrow. God, you're our source of strength and our source of faith. God, you're what we keep pushing for. God, it's only because of you that we're here, that we've got what we've got, that we have a hope in tomorrow being a better day. Lord, no matter what we face, no matter what we stand against, Lord, our trust is in you and you alone. My faith is not in myself or my own abilities, God, because without you, I couldn't do anything. And God, all of us are the same way, Lord. We're nothing on our own. We can't make it on our own, Lord, and we're all well aware of that. So tonight, Lord, we give you praise and we give you glory for everything you've done for us. We thank you for the health that we've got. We thank you for the things that you've given us materially. We thank you, Lord, for the spiritual blessings that you've given us and the understanding of your word and the promises that you've given us. God, the prophecy that has been given to us, God, and the hope that we've got that one day, Lord, we're going to be with you in paradise. Lord, tonight we ask you to keep your hands upon all of us. Lord, to take us through tomorrow, to protect us, protect our loved ones, protect our families. Most of all, let your spirit reside in our hearts and in our homes, God. We ask you, Lord, to resist and stand against all the evil that's in our world that comes against us. Help us, Lord, to wear the full armor of God. Lord, let us, Lord, walk in spirit and in truth, and let us walk after you. Let us seek after you first, Lord. That way, Lord, and all the other things will be added. God, we ask you to lead us, guide us in every step that we make. Open doors before us. Bless businesses, bless homes, bless these people in health. Let healing virtue flow, God, because your word says, lay hands on the sick and they shall recover. God, as we go to those that we can and we lay hands on them and we pray for them, God, that your word can minister through each one of us, God, that it can speak through us. But most of all, Lord, your love and your light will shine through every one of us, God, that we're all ambassadors of Jesus Christ. We are the body of Christ, Lord. Let us give you hands and let us give you feet. Let us give you a voice, God, that the world could hear, that you're still alive and well. God, tonight we thank you for everything you've done for us. We give you all the praise and all the glory in Jesus' mighty name. Amen. Thank y'all. I love every one of you. Hope all of you's night's good. Hope everybody has a blessed evening. Remember, the best way to do things,
You like to do.
well, you like to do it. And to clear the air, I like to do everything God's way. So that's why I don't have to worry about saying do it God's way. Because I like to do things his way. That is my way. See y'all. Y'all have a good one.